All right, hey y'all, it's Pizza Hulk back here in 7 Days to Die. Um, this is my second attempt at a video because the last one crashed, which is kind of the point here. I've been decorating, I've been playing the game both seriously, and then of course, if you look at the bottom bar there, just give myself the things I'd like. Uh, this is the level of tool making I've hit. This is the level on the things like the bows and stuff. We got a huge area of farming, and I think that's part of the problem. I think I need to spread my farm out a bit. It's causing some frame rate issues, lag, and then crashing. Particularly when I go inside that house right there, right here, because that's where I do all my crafting. So, bit of a problem. Uh, but I just wanted to point out what I was doing here. So I started playing this game because I was inspired by Neebs Gaming. Now I played Ark, Conan Exiles, and this game in particular because of them. And you know, I've really enjoyed Ark until I didn't and quit. And then I love Conan. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played, and I still love it. I mean, I love it so much I don't really broadcast it much. I just play it. But uh, I want to get back into something different. Give me a break from the long dark, and try to get to I could figure out the controls again and how to craft and all that. So there aren't any zombies around. I like to play survival games, and so you know I kind of wanted to know what this game would be like if it was just strictly a survival game. Could I approach it like that? Like I said, I've been cheating, you know, giving myself materials and fencing and the best weapon and tools in the game. But I've also been crafting things and crafting tools, and uh, I haven't sat around and made like 10,000 frames, which would obviously help me in my leveling. But at the same time, I kind of like was curious to see how it would work. So I made it to level 23, and we're on day 47. So no zombies to fight means no experience, no bodies to loot. Uh, but I lucked out recently with the scavenging because I found, and you can see where we've been kind of at and exploring and whatever. But right here is a giant apartment building, and in each apartment, the kitchen alone has like 16 cabinets and fridge and everything that you can loot. 16, individual things you can loot just in each room. So before I started paying attention and really counting, because I was like, man, I might be able to get up to level 40. Um, I went up at least 6 levels. I think it was more like 8. So we hit level 40. I think level 40 or 41. Uh, just by looting that one place. You can see we're growing everything. We're even growing pine trees to have a steady base of wood. It's so weird that I'm more concerned about standing next to my base in the game crashing than I am at this hospital, which is taking up a big chunk of space. But I don't really need to be. I assume that's when it came to console. So 7 years for 7 days to die, right? Um, and as far as I can tell, I'm not really sure what came out at release. And I haven't really done my research on this, but I don't feel bad about it because we'll get there. We'll get there. But it, yeah, I don't know that they've updated it or done anything with it. I can't imagine that they've done much, if anything. I went to the store and I thought, well, all right, well maybe there's something here. and there was skins, so I could look like Carl from The Walking Dead or something like that. Uh, yeah, that's a long time, people, and this is the game that I watched. Even I guess it was like 2019 maybe, for the Neebs Gaming stuff. Uh, were their maybe their first series. I'm not 100% on that, but anyway, uh, so all I'd ever seen was basically PC gameplay, and I knew that going in, and I'd watched some other videos, and I knew I was always watching PC videos, so I knew they had more stuff, and I knew that this was going to be a scaled down version. I just didn't know how scaled down it was going to be. How about that? Because it's really, really scaled down. Not to mention, you can't mod this for the PlayStation 4, so you can't even add in, and it wouldn't even make sense because the mods are probably for whatever version of this game is out on PC right now. So I don't know if Xbox gets a little bit more out of it than we do, but even if so, I doubt it, and I doubt it would be much. I don't know. I guess I'll check on that, but it doesn't matter. I have a PlayStation 4. So I've been playing with the sensitivity. It's crazy whack, but I think I've gotten it a little bit better as far as aiming is concerned. I have been playing with zombies on in a regular mode, in a playthrough that's going on beside this one. It's just the basic game, the basic, first level. I didn't really change anything. I think I made the days a little bit longer. Yeah, I might have like played with adjusted a few things. I think with the time mostly. Uh, but anyway, I was a little intoxicated when I started the playthrough originally, actually, so I'm not 100% sure of all the choices I made right back then. But it's been fine. I've been playing, and it seems pretty normal to me. Uh, I just died for the however many time a little bit earlier today. Uh, the problem I find is that aiming is kind of difficult, particularly with the scoped weapon, or de-scoped weapon, I should say. Um, man, here's what's weird. Like, normally in a game, when I'm talking about it, I'm like, all right, this is what they need to add. This is what they need to do. If there's some issues or if there's just something, a wish list that I have in my head. Uh, but in this game, it doesn't really matter what I want. I can tell you, but they've already fixed it. I think that's really the impetus. That's where I wanted to get with this. Uh, Anything that you can pretty much think of, like the perk system is a little sad. Uh, it needs more. Well, obviously, there is more. Uh, I feel like, the movement is kind of crap. They've already fixed that. I feel, well, to some degree. I mean, right now in this version, if you play on PlayStation 4, the best thing to kind of do, uh, I, I'm in the playthrough. I'm playing the normal playthrough. I'm gonna spec into uh, melee and shotguns probably, and then I don't know. I mean, I feel like the pistol's kind of decent too, and you're just gonna end up using the AK anyway, you know. So, but it's really not refined. Basically, what I ended up doing, I got a pistol, and so I get the pistol basically lined up to about, let's say, see how it's so wonky, head level, right? Let's say we're at head level, and just go through the zombies and try to move around by running and moving and keeping and getting their heads in the way of my gun. So, or just blasting into their bodies. But the melee seems all right. It just is. It's a little bit of a dance. I feel like again, I'm assuming 1,000%. I'm just not even assuming. They've already made it more nuanced and better. Uh, but it's just like one of those games where you kind of got to figure out, all right, you know, like Dark Souls thing or something. You know, you got to figure out when they're coming, where to be. You know, a lot of times the real trick is just to be backing up when you're swinging. So it's not it's not great. How about that? So I just kind of wondered, like, how could I turn this into something? Again, it doesn't matter what I think they should add because they've already fixed it. It's already done. You can play it on PC, right? Quit, quit bitching about it, man. Everybody knows. But I paid for this game. I got it on sale, and again, I was inspired by the guys at Neebs Gaming, and I was like, man, what can I do to make this just a bit more of a viable thing for me? So like I said, I've pretty much approached it as Minecraft creative mode. You can turn the zombies on and off. I thought about doing that, like going somewhere kind of out, or maybe back to that first city I went to, where it rains all the time. This place. I have a bit of a base set up there. But, you know, like I said, I've been playing a side playthrough that has the zombies on. And like I said, I just feel like it's going to be melee and shotgun. And like I said, maybe a little bit into pistol. The pistol seems to be pretty cool. But it kind of reminds me of like old Dead Island. You know what I mean? Like it's just that just beat them until they fall apart. Get your, you know, perks into smashing faces, and like that's really where you need to be. Because there's also no, I don't think, I went to the creative thing and tried to look it up, but there's no silencers, right? So anytime you pull the trigger in this version of the game on PS4, that's it. It's zombie time. So that alone causes its own issues. And like I said, maybe even the silencers are modded. I don't know. I would think at some point they were like, yeah, you know how many versions away they are from this on the PC. Hey, we should probably do this. The other thing about this game, of course, is that it's still technically in development for the PC as well. It's not even a completed game, which is fine. It seems like, all right, so I do play games like Conan Exiles, and Ark's finally releasing an Ark 2, but you know, if your game's going to evolve and change and you're going to keep it based on the same engine and everything, well then that's fine, but just do that. It's forever in alpha or whatever. Anyway, so I've had a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm making my, we're getting our tools and our weapons and stuff up. I keep making stuff. I mean, I cheated in, like you said, you can see there, all the good stuff for me. But I keep building stuff too. Like I'm making a bunch of arrows right now and make my bullets. Not that I have to use a lot of them, but I still make them. And then, just trying to get the experience of it with exploring. So that in itself is a challenge. Um, but yeah, it's kind of fun to just kind of get the survival aspect of it. This is sort of no zombie survival aspect. And that way, I think for me, it could be a more fun game than and something that, well, that I'm playing. But like I said, when I first got this, understandably, like I said, I was frustrated with the way the controller worked and the controls worked. But that was just me, not, that's just me. The other aspects of it, though, I mean, yeah, it's just not really. It's a pretty place. It's a cool concept. It's a neat map. It's fun to loot. Uh, but there's so many negatives. It just doesn't really make sense to, like I said. All right, yeah, I have like a ridiculous amount of crops back there, and I'm lagging out. But I'm having issues playing in my zombie playthrough when I'm getting jumped by a whole bunch of zombies, and then all of a sudden I have frame rate drop, and then I have lag, and then we have like, I'm dead. In fact, the last time I died, uh, I was gonna die anyway. That that wasn't. I was on my way to death due to poor choices on my part, uh, but I'm sitting there trying to blast away with however many bullets in my pistol, and they're chewing on me, and like there were like three or four on me, and like more coming in, and that was it. It just I couldn't do anything. I was pushing buttons and then nothing. So, and like I said, I mean, I could run in the house, but the game might crash, which would be a fitting end to the video, I guess, if that's how it went. But as soon as we go inside here, it's it starts to really slow down. A lot of frame rate drop. Every time I come down these stairs, usually I get, yeah, a little stickiness. It's not too bad right now. Iron. But yeah, I make gunpowder, I make bullets, I do all that stuff. But I do think what would be fun, for me anyway, and I think makes it a bit of a more viable game. In fact, I think it might be more enjoyable. And considering the options that you have with some of the customization, not a ton, you know, I would, again, love to see more, but I'm sure there are more. Just, I don't think, it's like, well, okay, well, what if they open it up for mods? But they would just have to be mods that were available for this version, I would think. Might be interesting to broadcast. I'm not really 100% sure. Uh, it might just be, there goes my interwebs again. It might just be fun for me, You know what? I'm just gonna give it a second. I'm pause and have a quick drink of water here. All right. Hopefully we're back. So, or maybe we never even left. Point is, if I like watching people do this, and I actually watched somebody. I think it was Glock 9, uh, or just maybe he's just Glock. I don't know. Anyway, he's doing a playthrough. He did a playthrough not too long ago where it was. I think he was doing No Zombies too. It was like strictly a survival type mode. So I thought that was cool. And like I said, for me, that's probably the best approach. Uh, you know, maybe go somewhere and sometimes turn the zombies on, or keep them. I think there's a setting that reduces them down to like 50%. So maybe something like that. But I do like the idea of this world that's, per, okay. Most zombies in most zombie horror movies and games and everything should be, depending on how the virus is transmitted or how people become zombies, then over time it should mostly die out, right? If it's just really about zombies biting you, then eventually humanity's going to win, because as zombies are generally portrayed, uh, they rot and deteriorate over time. Eventually, sinew's going to snap. They're not going to be able to walk. They're not going to be able to crawl. Their skin's going to fault. You know what I mean? Whatever. Who knows? Whatever keeps them alive. It's magic. No, no. Anyway, I think Last of Us has a somewhat decent grasp on what might actually end up being zombies. But beyond that, for the most part, it's just kind of silly. But scary but fun. But like I said, it just I don't. I think realistically, the zombies are going to disappear at some point. I think humanity is going to prevail. Personally, you just kind of got to outlast them. You put pockets of people where they aren't, and you know. Now, the Walking Dead theory on zombies is a bit more interesting because, and what was that other? There was another zombie show that was great. I loved it. Oh man, I think it was called Z Nation. Oh man, that was a good show. But basically, everybody's already kind of like a zombie. You know, you just got to either die or get turned. So in that, you could see the problem perpetuating longer and being more of an issue, but it would be small outbreaks. It wouldn't be like it would be at the beginning. You know what I mean? It would be people who missed somebody who died randomly, a heart attack behind a shed. You know what I mean? Nobody knew that old Ned Flanders died in the backyard. Then he woke up and he killed Homer, right? And on and on. You'd have small outbreaks, but again, you would think they would generally be small after about, maybe 3 to 5 people. You put them down and get a move on, with life. So, yeah. I like and believe and think it's a believable concept that it's a world that's just done, The zombies are over. Where we live, like I said, there's the traders. We're going to assume there's a few people around. Maybe we're just not running into them or whatever. But for the most part, let's say, we have all these different biomes, which is kind of wild. It's not that there aren't places in the world that experience and have these regions, but they're so close by considering it's a day's walk to this town and it's snowing, and it's a day's walk to here and it's the desert. So it's a video game, people. It's a video game. But I do think, like I said, I like this kind of lonely, the good old trope, the lonely survivor. The fact that you can, like I said, I could go to a city and turn zombies on for a day or somewhere, have fun. You could even do horde on occasion if you wanted. You could build a horde base and just turn the zombies on day 7. But I've had a lot, like I said, I've been cheating a lot, but I think it would make maybe an interesting broadcast if it's strictly you build up, you go from where you got to go. Uh, some of the skills, like if you want your science to go up, you're going to have to make a bunch of bandages you're probably not going to need. And med kits you probably aren't going to need. If you want, your gun skill to go up, even though you're really just shooting, deer and bears and rabbits and whatever. So you're not going to get a ton of score through that. You really got to think about cracking books and finding books. But yeah, making a bunch of tools. And then, of course, you could always do, like I said, I could just sit there and I could make a ridiculous amount of frames. I could just build some ridiculous structure out in some flat area, Build my own house, tower, whatever, and get experience that way too. So, yeah, like I said, I'm having fun. Obviously, like I said, I liked making my 2 little competing houses here. And we've got just this massive farm going so we can make all the beer and yucca juice and teas and stuff we really don't need much of. But, you know, I've got some red teas on me because it helps with the heat. You can tell we've been making some stuff. But yeah, I think here's what I guess I'm trying to say. If you come into this game right now, in 2023, to give old 7 Days to Die a shot, have at it. But just know, I mean, it's not the game that everyone else is playing. It's not the game that you're watching videos on. It just is what it is, you know. It is exactly what they released when they released it, and I don't, except for trying to get some cash out of some skins, it doesn't appear. And like I said, I haven't done any research. I haven't gone in and looked at any of it. I'm telling you just straight off the bat what I think, and I feel pretty confident in saying nothing's going to happen in this game. So if you want a kind of wonky, laggy, FPS problem-y, you know, I pretty much need to tear down my farm and move it to like the other side of town. It's just too much for this area. So think about that when you're building. So you build your, you know, your horde base. You got all that stuff there for that. It's going to continue to grow and get, you know, to however you need it to be. And then what happens on like the 10th horde when there's just so many zombies and so many things coming at you, like I just can't even imagine. And I've watched people play on PC and they have problems with FPS and lagging and all kinds of issues. So like triple that maybe. And they're better. I mean, let's just put it out there. I mean, at this point, they're better zombie games. There's better building games. There's, you know, yeah, we have Minecraft sort of in a more realistic manner. So in that aspect, yeah, go for it. But there really is just a lot of limits. One thing I didn't realize, and that I found probably one of the most disappointing things, is that you can't paint. So, I mean, you can get some red blocks with consent, you can get some different things, but like you can't really just, you know, change the look of things, which is what I was really hoping for. So, the crappy carpet's the crappy carpet, the crappy walls are the crappy walls, you know. Either go all brick or do, you know what I'm saying? Again, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think this makes a fun survival game with no bad guys, basically. It with the zombies one, like I said, there seems to just be, in my mind, one build. It's melee, shotgun, and maybe some into pistol. Don't need to put much into the rifles because they're rifles, you know what I mean? So just blast away when you need those. Take those headshots with the sniper rifle when you can. But remember, every trigger pull in this game, everything knows where you are. They're coming to eat you. That much I figured out. So, you know, without any kind of silencer and without any silencer coming, no more mods are coming. I'm telling you, no new no new skill set, no new perk thing, nothing. It is basically what they released. So, if you want to play a game from 2016, unlike Skyrim or Fallout, which have received some changes and some things, you know, this is just, it is what it is. So, I'm going to play a survival type game where I am the lonely survivor. I won't give myself all the good purple stuff, you know, we'll that'll help too. But we'll spend some more time making tools and stuff. And obviously you have to mine more and repair more. So that'll help with the skills. But for the most part, my exploration of this particular playthrough is pretty good. You know, like I said, I've got a good handle on the mechanics and how things work and etc. So I don't really feel a need to, like, continue too much further down this little cheaty path that I've been doing. So yeah. So, like I said, it's a gamble if you want to. I don't know how many people are playing this. I also am not sure. I think I don't even know how you play this with a friend. Like, I think it's split screen. Anyway, uh, have a blast. Give it a shot if you want. Get it on sale, or maybe it's free in your Game Pass or whatever. Again, I don't know if the version on Xbox is better or not. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Again, I should. Whatever. Maybe there's better stuff on PS5 and the new Xbox. Good luck on that. But they don't seem to have too much love for us PS4 players. Find your own way or don't. And that'd be my final advice. Uh, it's certainly not the game that they're playing on PC. So. All right, well, if you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you see this at a later date or time, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are having a great day. Y'all be good to each other.